Welcome to MoCo Pride. I'm your host, Phillip Alexander Downie. Over the next 5 episodes, we are going to take a behind-the-scenes look at the industries and small businesses affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. We will see how they are faring now and how their operations and lives have changed. Today, I'm back at my home base, Sandy Spring Museum, where I serve as Director of Special Events and Facility Rentals. I'm hosting a few venue managers and event industry professionals from across Montgomery County. As we begin to open for smaller in-person events, I'm exploring venues and speaking with other industry professionals about their experiences and how their lives have changed through this global pandemic. Stay tuned. COVID-19 has had a devastating impact around the world and in the United States. According to the New York Times, the United States has over 9.3 million confirmed cases and over 230,000 deaths from the COVID-19 virus. Montgomery County, Maryland makes up 26,400 of those confirmed cases and 835 deaths, according to the Montgomery County government's COVID-19 surveillance dashboard. Most of us are working hard to get through this global pandemic together by being compassionate, lifting up those around us, and taking precautions as we navigate our lives and new business norms. In this 5-part series, we will explore experiences and challenges industries and small businesses are facing throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Today, I'll be sitting down with venue managers and event industry professionals to explore how their venues and industries have changed. I'll also be speaking with Lauren Peirce, our marketing director at Sandy Spring Museum, to discuss how she has taken and transformed our once very robust in-person event calendar to virtual programs and socially distant events. Joining us first is Lauren Peirce, marketing director at Sandy Spring Museum. Thank you so much, Lauren, for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So I'll just get right into it. So can you introduce yourself to our viewers who don't know you and let them know what you do at the museum?
Absolutely. My name is Lauren Peirce, and I am the marketing director for Sandy Spring Museum. I handle all of the communications right here in Sandy Spring.
Can you explain how the COVID crisis has impacted your work?
Sure. I mean, the museum as a whole, everything shut down around the second week of March, I think it was. It's been so long now. So we actually physically closed our doors, which has always been our bread and butter. I mean, we would have people walk in and see the exhibits like we have up behind us. And for a long time, the physical aspect of being here at the museum wasn't there. So we really had to take our programming and make it shift into the virtual space. And we didn't really know what that would look like at first. I think everybody was kind of in the boat of thinking this was only going to be, you know, we'll stay home for a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then back to business as usual. And it became even more apparent that that just wasn't the reality for us anymore. So we went from taking videos of our community partners who shared, you know, different activities that people could do, follow along with at home, that were already recorded on our YouTube channel. And then we shifted pretty quickly into the live Zoom programming with art classes, and history happy hours moved over into the live platform, as well as some other activities.
Awesome, awesome. So outside of the museum, you are a mother, sister, wife, daughter, friend, like so much to so many people. And like yourself, there are so many individuals who are just juggling so many tasks. Like, how do you just do it all and stay sane?
I mean, that's debatable every day what the sanity is. It's challenging. I think that everybody in America is going through that to some extent now. You know, my son started kindergarten, and virtual learning, despite having a wonderful school and teachers and administration, was a really big challenge for us. it sounds so cheesy, but take care of yourself and be open and honest about what's going on with you. Check in on your friends and do things that bring you joy every day. That's all you can do right now, and this is our new normal for the foreseeable future, so we really just have to make the best of it.
Awesome. Do you have any particular tips, meditation, things like that you do just to kind of ground yourself when things seem too stressful?
Yeah, I mean, lately I've been trying to wake up a little bit earlier than the rest of my household, which I'm sure many mothers will understand that it's tough being the last person to bed at night and the first person up in the morning. But, just having my coffee alone and meditating and really clearing my head, journaling before the day starts, getting outside as much as you can, enjoy the nice days because, as they say, winter is coming and we are going to be inside for a lot of it, and not having those recreational activities that we used to have indoors. Make use of the outdoors. I mean, Montgomery County has so many great trails and things to see outside, so go explore them.
Awesome. Yeah, I love hiking myself. I love going on trails every single day. So you work very, very hard to ensure that the community still has this wonderful meeting place, whether that is through virtual programs or social distancing events. Can you tell us about some of those programs and events that have been offered since we shut down in March?
Sure. I would say that, we did have classes and things that took off probably in late May. We have a huge festival every year, the Strawberry Festival, which we unfortunately had to cancel this year, and we're very hopeful that we'll be able to hold the event in some capacity come next June. But we pivoted. We did a drive-through strawberry sale, so people were still able to get a little bit of that hometown feeling that they get when they come to the Strawberry Festival each year in a safe way. And then there was a lot of social unrest in our country, as many of you, unless you've been living under a rock, you didn't see. And we partnered with Brothers with Books and the Hub for Culture and Democracy and put together a month-long weekly series called Turning Anger into Action. And the community really responded to that program, hearing from local leaders and experts on various topics surrounding social justice. And it's really just taken off from there with the history happy hours, and we have been really progressing with our digital archives project. Our team was able to come back on board with that after about 6 weeks after the shutdown, and they've been flying. We had a local church group participate in the day of service and transcribed hundreds of pages for us, which was just massive.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. So you've had the drive-through strawberry sale and all of the virtual programs, the Turning Anger into Action, where we were able to activate so many people throughout our country and give them sustainable tools to work out those that anger that they feel. Do you have any favorite programs currently or in the past that you've been working on since the shutdown?
Since the shutdown. I mean, every one of our programs is special to me in a different capacity. It's really wonderful to get to work with the community, since we are a community-generated museum, to bring their vision to light, whether it be virtual or in person. We have an outdoor sculpture exhibit that has actually been extended through Thanksgiving weekend. It was supposed to end the first weekend of November, but now it's been extended. So it's nice for anybody who is able to gather with their family in any type of way to be able to walk our grounds safely and see some art and just get inspired and get out of the hustle and bustle of everything going on right now. In conjunction with that, we did Food Truck Fridays for about 2 months, where each Friday we would have a different local food truck on the grounds, and people could just come out and they would mask up, and we have picnic tables all over the grounds where they could sit and meet up with friends at a safe distance and enjoy the exhibit and a little bit of camaraderie. And We opened our doors inside, which was just huge, by appointment only for the Makers Among Us exhibit, which you can see behind me, which goes on through mid-ish end of November. Around the 23rd, that closes down. And then one of my favorite exhibits, or it's not necessarily exhibit, but one of our activities that we have every year is the Fine Arts and Crafts Holiday Gift Show, where we have local artisans handmade items for sale around the holidays. That opens Black Friday and will close December 23rd. That one is, we are only open certain days of the week, so please check our website for updates on what times of day and what days we're open. But you can come shop, and you can shop small, and you can shop local, and you can support all of the people in this industry who've been hurting through all of this.
Absolutely, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking about like the support that you can give and even this upcoming program. But are there other ways that our viewers can support the museum and support the overall mission?
Absolutely. Attend our programs. I mean, there's such a wonderful wide range of offerings that they're always being updated on our website, sandyspringmuseum.org. You can check our Facebook page for other activities that are going on, where we also show some of our partners' activities, whether or not they are being featured through the museum's platforms or their own. There's a lot going on in the virtual space that you can participate in safely from home, including the transcription project for our digital archives. Anybody can do that from anywhere. You can volunteer for us that way. Occasionally, we still need some help with mailings. So if you're interested, you can send us an email at info@sandyspringmuseum.org if you'd like to help out in some sort of physical capacity with those. And donations are always welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today and taking time out of your immensely busy schedule to be here. It's always wonderful getting to see you in person, since I never do anymore.
Yes, you as well, and it's really great to be back in the building.
It absolutely is. When we return, we'll be speaking to event industry professionals from venues throughout Montgomery County. Stay tuned.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
Here are AARP's top tips on caregiver preparedness during coronavirus. Form a caregiving team. Inventory essential supplies and medications. Make a plan to stay connected. Maintain self-care and follow CDC guidelines. Learn more on our website.
Welcome back. Joining me now is Lisa Kim from the Kentlands Mansion in Gaithersburg, Lois Sarfo-Mensah, the principal of Three Pillars Conferences and Events, and Lee Callicut from Visit Montgomery, the Montgomery County Tourism Bureau. How are you all doing today?
Good. Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today, as I said. Lisa, I'll start with you. Could you introduce yourself, exactly what you do, and then we'll just go around to Lois.
Yes, of course. So I'm Lisa Kim. I work at Kentlands Mansion in the city of Gaithersburg, and I'm the program manager there. So we do a lot of private events, and we do have our own, a few of our own events as well.
I'm Lois Sarfo-Mensah. I'm the principal and founder of Three Pillars Co. We are an event management and strategies services company providing services to small businesses, individuals, and corporations in the form of events and just organizing.
And I'm Lee Callicut. I'm from Visit Montgomery, the Tourism Bureau for Montgomery County, and I'm a destination sales manager. And my role is to sell the county as a destination for groups, meetings, tour operators, social events, anything that will bring tourism into the county.
Awesome, fantastic. So as event industry professionals, when the shutdown happened from the COVID-19 pandemic, we immediately felt the hit. So I wanted to ask you what direct impacts happened in March that really affected our industry. Lois, I'll start with you.
I mean, for me, it was really because I'm a service base rather than a property or a venue or a DNC. I definitely felt it because clients were immediately in panic mode. Just don't know what to do about moving forward. Of course, the cancel versus postponement was a big discussion. And I was very much a proponent of postpone, don't cancel, but a lot of clients were just going to take either the financial hit or definitely arguing their force majeures and on contracts and then moving forward with a cancellation. So that's kind of how it started out, but then of course folks started getting the idea of how to move into and pivot into a different environment.
Yeah, definitely. So Lisa, what happened to you on the venue side in Gaithersburg?
So they're pretty strict in the city of Gaithersburg. They really focus on the safety of the employees and the patrons. So we haven't really been able to host many live events. So we've tried to pivot, but as you were saying, there was a lot of people, all of our clients who had booked for the spring and the summer and even the fall, they were kind of worried, a lot of brides and things like that. You know, you don't want to delay moving forward with the importance of a wedding or something like that. But yeah, we've been trying to pivot, and I don't know, it's working so far.
Okay, definitely. And Lee, as the destination sales manager, how did you and your clients, your contacts, feel that impact?
Well, so there's two of us that actually sell the county. My colleague sells the county from the corporate meeting side, and I do it from the tour side and social events side, those types of things. And both segments, if you will, were hit pretty hard initially. Groups and meetings on the corporate side, immediate stop, cancellations. They didn't move to postponement at that time. They were just canceling. From the tour side, for tour groups that were looking to come visit DC, they of course stopped as well. They continued a little bit through March, but not very much. But they started to postpone their tours as opposed to canceling. So we represent partners, so our hotels, our venues, some of our restaurants. So our role was, as an organization, how can we help our partners pivot? How can we help them move forward? What can we do? What resource can we be that's going to help them, get through the pandemic? From the very beginning of what resources could we provide to you? Then how can we pivot as an organization and offer things for our local families, local residents? So we're not selling abroad now. Now we're actually selling, to our own residents.
Oh, great. So there have been a lot of new rules and restrictions put in place because of COVID. I know that all of my wedding clients have really been experiencing, or the remaining wedding clients I have left have really been experiencing them. But I wanted to ask you, Lisa, what rules and restrictions are you navigating through when you're thinking about booking at the Kentlands Mansion, if it's even possible?
Again, the city of Gaithersburg and really Montgomery County has really been fantastic about trying to put the safety of the patrons and the staff in the forefront. So we haven't really been able to do any live events.
Zero live events?
Zero live events. Okay. We have had a few photo shoots because of the gathering restrictions in the mansion, and we've done a few virtual things that I think have been pretty good at keeping us on top of mind for people who are thinking of getting married, and also helping our local vendors. So that's where we've been really trying to focus.
Okay, great. And Lee, what rules and restrictions are you, because you advertise fun to bring people here for a lot of social events, and so of course so many people felt that, but what rules and restrictions are you having to regulate through the county or the state that make it a little bit more difficult to perform your tasks?
Well, for us, mainly it is group gathering size, which had been 50. I'm sure we're all aware that the county executive has submitted an executive order that's going to go to the county council for a vote to take that back to 25. So that will hurt all of our hotel venues and venues like yourself because now you can only have as many as 25 people. It's also going to affect their restaurants when it's now going to be 25% capacity. So it's those types of things. While we certainly understand, it's how do we work with those numbers and continue to keep business coming into the county.
Awesome. So, even though we are able to still offer events and still try and, facilitate those smaller in-person gatherings, I know that you said you've had a couple of photo shoots, but Lois, have you been able to, to manage any clients or to put on or to work with any individuals and give them your services to put on smaller events and programs?
I have. So of course, with everything going into full shutdown in March, it was time to kind of get focused and figure out what the next steps are. And then after navigating the current client load, it was moving on to development onto new clients. So looking at new ways of providing services, providing the experience, a lot of opportunities in the virtual event world. So for me, I have produced about a handful of virtual events at this time, and then 2 live events with less than 40 people. So still been able to work and keep things busy in that world. And with virtual events, it's the same kind of craziness that comes with a live event. Just the difference is you save your feet. No more running around convention centers and hotels and uncomfortable shoes and having a shoe bag. It was just sitting at the computer and making sure that your 15 computers are showing the same thing at the same time. So it's pretty much the same.
Absolutely. And Lee, have you been navigating through the virtual event space? I know that you do so many virtual presentations that keep us on the happenings of Montgomery County and tourism in the state. But in terms of bringing other people in to do, I guess, virtual programming or smaller in-person events, how has that been?
So we have done some virtual events from the sales side. We've done some virtual happy hours with meeting planners, tour operators, just showing them what we will do have to offer, especially on the anything that deals with being outside, how you can have an outdoor event. What are some of our outdoor destinations, our Tastemaker Trail, the Agricultural Reserve, all of those hidden gems that people didn't know about. So we've done some virtual things like that. We've done some great blogs where we've done some videos of some of our outdoor spaces. Just to really to let people know what other options we have other than what you would think that you have to do inside.
Yeah, definitely. And have you found it just difficult to navigate your life, or more difficult to navigate your life outside of work now that there is the pandemic happening?
Yes. Yes, I think it has been more difficult. But on the other hand, I've been able to look at things differently. Look for different things to do. What is an experience that I've lived in Montgomery County my entire life? What are things that I have never done that I can now do that is still available to me? So while it has been difficult, it has been eye-opening as well. And so I've experienced things in a different way.
Interesting. And Lisa, I know that you were very active with your school, with your children's school, just because we know each other, of course. But I want to know, how has that changed or stayed the same? Like, what about that is different now that the COVID shutdown has happened?
Well, so we're very lucky, right? Because we have a decent amount of space in our house, so we can all kind of separate even though we're together. And really, my kids are preteens and teens, so they were kind of going their own way before COVID. And now we're all stuck together, which I really think is a blessing, because my husband doesn't have to go to DC every day. And I mean, it's challenging in its own way, but it's a time to cherish as well, I think, as a family.
Awesome, fantastic. Well, I wanted to just thank you all so much for joining me today, and I wanted to just go around and give each of you a chance to, tell our viewers anything about this pandemic that might have affected you, or something about your industry that you may want them to know. Lee, I can start with you.
Well, so the pandemic has certainly decimated the hospitality and tourism business, not here just in Montgomery County, but obviously in the entire world. Don't give up hope. Come visit. Stay for the day. Spend the night. There's still so many things to do. Look at everything from a positive. Get out and experience it. And Montgomery County is waiting for you.
Awesome. Lois?
So for me, I think that the biggest thing is that the pandemic, I believe, should have given folks the opportunity, like Lee was saying, to look at things from a new perspective. Definitely be more thankful for what they do have, recognize what they don't and what others don't, and get a bit of, I don't want to say humility, but just to be able to be comfortable with where they are and at home, and just get connected to their family, like you were saying with your family. So in terms of when you get that kind of comfortability and happiness within, then all of these other experiences you're open to, which is always what I'm talking through with clients about, thinking about the good things and that can be done, and look at how we can create these new experiences that they wouldn't have had before. Because that's the biggest feedback I get from clients, is that they're able to reach and touch folks that they never were able to before in a live environment.
Fantastic. Lisa?
So we're primarily weddings at the Kentlands Mansion. So a lot of brides and grooms and families are distressed because they feel like, oh, we had all these plans, we had all these vendors. But I kind of feel like it's really given this social gathering restrictions and all of these things have really given people an opportunity to pivot and think about what's really important, right? So sometimes when you first start planning weddings or big events like that, you think quantity. But now we're able to look at more quality, and I think that can actually make it a little bit more special and memorable. So.
Well, that was fantastic. That's the perfect note to end on. Well, thank you all again so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. I really appreciate it, and giving us an industry perspective on how the event industry is doing.
Awesome. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, viewers, for joining us for this episode of MoCo Pride. Remember to love yourselves and love each other. Good night.